Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of High and Outside, an irreverent sports ball podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, thanks for checking us out. I'm Oz, and as always, today I'm joined by my esteemed co-host, MC Kamish. If you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at AOK Worldwide, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for video versions of every podcast and some more related content coming soon. Please also check out all of our episodes on iTunes and Spotify and leave a like or a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Now, Kamish, tell us about the one-hitters.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Nikola Djokovic is making a case for himself to be the MVP. NHL playoffs start May 11th, depending on COVID. Deshaun is losing endorsements left and right. Darnold escapes the Jets. Good for him. Aaron Rodgers should definitely host Jeopardy full-time after he retires. The unwritten rules of baseball are trash, heaping piles of fucking trash. The Stanford women won the NCAA national championship. Ohtani is a motherfucking badass. The Nets are fucking good. And Paul Pierce was fired by ESPN for liking strippers. And with that, what do you think of that? The last one there.
I mean, here's the thing about Paul. I think Paul Pierce was to the point where one of two things happen. There's only two reasons why this happens, where Paul Pierce goes on Instagram Live. If you're not familiar with the story, Paul Pierce goes on Instagram Live at a poker night.
This is all legal.
Yeah, I mean, sure. He's got strippers there. He's like...
Looked like a good time, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a hell of a time. They're smoking blunts, he's telling people to come through if they're in LA, specifically girls, and he looks like he's having a good time. But the thing is he put it on Instagram Live, which again, his prerogative. But there are only two reasons he would do that. Number one, he doesn't understand technology, because this is the same person who had two phones at an All-Star game. The famous meme of Paul Pierce with two separate phones, So we can't rule it out. Number two.
That is plausible.
Number two, he doesn't give two shits about his job at ESPN because he made a ton of money playing basketball.
Yeah.
Number three, he was ready to leave ESPN, but he didn't want to do what he'd have to do to actually leave, so he made him fire him.
Just going out guns blazing.
Yeah. I think it was quite the show, and I think he will not be without a job for very long if he doesn't want to be. And
Barstool.
Yeah, Barstool's already going to drop the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
That's important when I already shouted him out. So
right.
They're ready to drop the bag. I mean, I think they should make Poker Nights with Paul a thing. Put it on the internet.
Yep.
And,
El
Prez, I'm sure you've already thought of that. But
yeah.
if you didn't, I'd love to consult.
Yeah. Somebody there will think about it, because that sounds awesome.
Bring me in. I actually
sweet blazers too, right?
Yeah, I actually saw. I was talking to some buddies because I don't know if you saw this, but the one of the KU basketball coaches, one of their assistants, one of their best recruiters, he left for Texas yesterday. Snacks Howard, Jarence Howard. He's like the main guy on the AAU circuit, probably the primary bag dropper for KU. But he left town allegedly under current investigation, so he can't speak on it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he left for Texas, and we were just talking about how we just need to bring in Paul Pierce. Let him have a backpack full of cash at all times.
There's puppy pals.
Paul
Sorry
Pierce,
about that if you heard that.
Come in, just recruit kids to KU. The Instagram Live video will be object number one. Did you check this shit out? Come to Kansas.
Fucking egg cotton.
That'd be the biggest FU to the NCAA to hire Paul Pierce as an assistant coach right after he gets fired by Disney for going live at a poker night with strippers. It's not only did we sign Bill Self to a lifetime contract, now we got Paul Pierce.
Yes. Chief
Fuck you,
guy.
NCAA.
Oh, God. All those sound delightful.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should do all of them. Going back through the rest of your one-hitters, Jokic for the MVP, I don't know, man. I think I saw Embiid go crazy last night, and I know Embiid missed those games, and so it'll come down to how the voters. But, man, Embiid, now that he's back, I'm so happy. 6-step back last night and made the Celtics look silly. It was amazing. The Deshaun situation is really getting ugly. And Rodgers would be a good Jeopardy host.
After he retires.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did you hear him talk about it, though? He said he doesn't need to retire to do it.
Oh, nice. Even better.
Apparently, they only filmed Jeopardy, over a course of 70 days in a year.
Oh.
They film a lot at a time. And
Just
so he's
bring him in there.
Yeah, he's in the off season is there. I'm not sure he's the best potential Jeopardy host candidate, but it's cool that it's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. He'll get better.
Yeah, I mean, of course he'll get better.
So hell yeah.
But I'm sure there are better candidates, but I do think it would be cool if that's the direction they decided to go in.
I'd blow up that show. It'd just make double probably the people of watching Jeopardy for a little bit. It would
for a little while,
boost their ratings a lot.
Yeah, I think for a little while for sure. All right, well, that's all I got on your one-hitters, so.
All right, hey, let's get into.
Hey, what's the haps?
Well, this week's version of the What's the Haps is going to primarily be an extended version of The Clubhouse.
Right.
Because, it's Masters Week.
Doing it already.
That's fair. I
Because I'm pumped about it because it is Masters Week.
Hence the green.
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Masters Week.
This will be the YouTube video will probably drop late Thursday or Friday.
Friday morning again.
By the time you see it, we'll already have had round one. It's great.
Audio will be up
tomorrow on Masters Thursday. So our tomorrow is your today. So
future man.
Yeah, future you is listening to this podcast in a world where the Masters has started. So good for you.
Golf clap. Real MVP.
But anyway, it is going to be a very Master-centric podcast. But first, we have a couple things we got to touch on.
Yes,
Number
we
one,
do.
The Baylor Bears and the Stanford Cardinal won NCAA championships.
Mm-hmm.
Baylor men, Stanford women.
By 1 point over Arizona, and congratulations. But Baylor was a whole nother thing.
Yeah, Baylor took it to the undefeated Gonzaga Bulldogs, preserving the, 72 Hoosiers or 76 Hoosiers?
Yeah.
National title team, last major college basketball team to go undefeated. They stay alive, pop the champagne like the Dolphins do every year.
Mm-hmm.
Gonzaga, honestly, the whole Baylor thing was, and I won't take credit for this, but I think it was Mike Wilbon who said Baylor was just too strong. Too big, too strong, too fast, too good for Gonzaga that night. And I think, I don't think it's a situation where Baylor is that much better than Gonzaga. I think they're better. I think we saw that. I think they're a terrible matchup for Gonzaga. I don't think they're 20 points better than Gonzaga.
No.
I think they would win a 7-game series against Gonzaga.
Yeah, probably.
But I think it would probably go 6 or 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
But that night, which is the beauty of college basketball, the beauty and the ugliness of college basketball is that one bad night sends you home. Yeah, one bad night sends you home, but one night where you play the game of your life, you're national champs now.
Yep.
And they really did play the game of their life. I thought, how some blowout games can be really boring to watch? Some blowout games.
Yeah, no, yes, definitely. That's what I'm saying. I had this on in the background, but after it was a blowout, I didn't really pay that much attention.
Okay, so for me, I thought as a basketball fan, this was a blowout where I was still pretty locked into it the whole time. The reason is just Baylor's defensive rotations were just impeccable.
They couldn't score. Gonzaga couldn't score.
Yeah, Raftery in the beginning of the game kept, and he has to do this for network reasons, he doesn't want people to tune it out. But Raftery kept being be aware of, early big leads and big games like this. One team can just come out a little flat and things will start working. I tend to agree that is the case. Don't take too much into a big lead early in a big game. But you also have to talk about or look at how is the game being played. And it wasn't as if Gonzaga was getting lots of open looks and they just weren't falling. They were not able to. Not really.
They
most of every single shot that they got and Gonzaga got was contested because Baylor was making it very difficult to get good shots. That's my point.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a situation where Gonzaga was missing wide open shots. They were just missing shots because they were difficult shots. Mm-hmm. Everything looked difficult for Gonzaga from the get-go.
Those 2 early fouls with Suggs, that didn't help anything at all.
You're right. It didn't help.
I don't think it really ultimately matters, but at the time, it was all right. This is not a good thing.
I think it obviously.
What was that?
Water
keep
bottle.
Knocking over your.
Keep knocking my water bottle over.
Water got in my eye. What the fuck? Anyway.
I do think the Suggs thing didn't help, but I I personally just think that Baylor that night was so good.
They bodied them for sure.
And, well, it's not only that. They're playing this incredible defense, but also they shot 60% from 3 in the first half. And, like, if you're doing that, you're going to win basketball games.
For sure.
You're going to blow people out. Exactly like
And they did score more points than the other team.
Quite a few more.
Quite a bit. The spread was out.
I mean, anybody who had Baylor last night or Monday night, that was you felt good. That was a fun one to have because you had, especially if you had them plus 4.5, that was never in question.
Nope. After second 30, you're like, this should be pretty good for me.
Yeah. So Baylor, very impressive. Scott Drew, he has done an incredible job turning that program around. That story's been told by a whole bunch of people, but when he took over Baylor, they were fresh off of a legitimate murder scandal within their program. Like, it was the lowest of lows, and it's like 17 years later, and they won a national title. That's
first ever.
Pretty awesome.
In the March Madness era, right?
Yeah. First time back to the Final Four in like 50 years. So, pretty impressive from Scott Drew. I was honestly surprised that, another piece of news in college basketball, Roy Williams retires.
Gone.
And
he's pretty fucking old.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised by Roy Williams retiring. I was surprised by North Carolina moving so fast to promote Hubert Davis to be his replacement.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I thought it was interesting because I thought they would for sure make a call to a Scott Drew or a Mark Few or somebody, but it's clear that Carolina is kind of going by the whole, it's got to be a member of the Carolina family that's going to take over after Roy, and I respect that, but it'll be interesting. We got to talk, before we move on from college basketball,
the shot.
We have to talk about the UCLA game.
Oh, man.
Because, honestly, that was the peak of the tournament, especially because the Gonzaga-Baylor game. The Gonzaga-Baylor game had the potential to be incredible. I think we all had the big build-up, thought it was going to be. It just wasn't.
Two best
Baylor
teams
was
in the
just
country,
better.
For sure.
Yeah, Baylor was just so much better than them. But the game on Saturday night was one of those games where you're going to remember where you were.
Oh, God.
When the back and forth in the overtime, because no one had timeouts, and that last like minute and a half where it's just frenzied things happening without stoppages. It's why that's when basketball is at its like best, is when there is no stopping.
Magic.
I know, but it's also like playoff NBA, like in the finals, like they don't take a lot of timeouts that they don't have to, and that's where if we don't get those stupid reviews, which we've talked about on this podcast before, one of the concerns about the NBA is like all these reviews. One thing we got, Matt, in this, at least in the Final Four and a couple other games during this tournament, was we got those last couple minutes where it's just the teams going back and forth, and who makes a play, and then can you answer? And that UCLA-Gonzaga game was the peak of that. Suggs with the incredible shot.
When it left his hand, like it came down, they tied it and he was coming back down, and like as soon as it left his hands, I was like, dude, that's fucking going in. And then it banked right in, and I was like, whoa! Like, that was insane. Like,
yeah, again, it's one of those shots where you remember exactly where you were, and it's one of those shots. I mean, it's like the Jenkins shot, the Chris Jenkins-Villanova shot over Carolina.
That shot, like we talked about
it was the same. It wasn't the exact same back and forth because in that game there was a timeout after Marcus Page made the three to tie the game, but still, like, it reminded me of that. And then like the Chalmers shot in 08, that's it's the whatever. It happened this day 13 years ago or whatever. He made that shot, and it's like those moments are ones that I'll remember.
Yeah. Also, random though, on this day, I think 35 years ago, Bo Jackson had his first major league home run and just tattooed it 475 feet.
Yeah, Bo Jackson is arguably the greatest athlete of all time.
Yes.
Not achieving athlete.
No.
But gifted.
Yeah.
Also on this day, I don't know how many years ago, but this is a big one for you. On this day, again, I don't know the year, but the Goofy movie came out.
Fuck yeah. Stand out. So you notice me. Fuck yeah.
Love the Goofy movie.
Love the Goofy
This is a
movie.
very pro-Goofy movie pod.
I know just about every word to every song and all the dialogue. Fucking love that movie.
Well, I think the Goofy movie is a perfect transition into the clubhouse.
The club. I approve. All right. Bust out the glove again. You forgot your glove. I'm a little mad at you. No.
Hey, man.
All right. Masters Week, bro.
Masters Week. As I alluded to at the top of What's the Haps, it's Masters Week. We're pumped. We're driving down Magnolia Lane. All the nostalgia, all the tradition, unlike any other. Pimento and cheese, dogwoods, azaleas, Chris Vernon Masters updates,
Jim
Nance.
The whole pageantry of it, it's just unlike any.
Amen Corner.
Oh, yes.
Patrons.
I think, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Egg salad.
Yes. The guy who's hitting what's the name of the guy who's hitting the
ceremonial first tee shot, Lee Elder.
Right.
Lee Elder joining Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus this year. He was the first African American to play in the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Legend. It is honestly kind of, it's incredible and it's good to see them. You know, it's too little, too late, to be honest. But it's also they're doing what they can, and I'm happy to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me even more sad that Tiger Woods isn't there.
Yeah, that's something we're gonna have to get used to, which sucks.
It's not that I'm like, the thing about Tiger is him not being there this year is, you know, that even if he wasn't playing, if he was healthy enough to like be there, he would be there.
Yeah.
'Cause in the years when he was going through all the stuff he was going through previously in his career and all the surgeries and all that stuff, he always still came to the Masters and did the Champions Dinner because he loves the place, and
Absolutely.
he would want to be there to watch this ceremonial tee shot.
Yeah.
But you know, he's in the situation where right now he's still in the middle of recovery.
Yeah.
We're going to get into Tiger. I know that a lot of the guys have been talking about him in their press conferences because they've gotten a chance to go see him. JT, Rory, some of those guys. And, I mean, you know, it's Tiger Woods. He'll be back. I don't know if he'll be back on the course, but he'll be back at Augusta.
Yeah, he'll be a broadcaster or something.
I don't think he'll be a broadcaster. I don't know why he would waste his time with that.
Because he's Tiger fucking Woods?
No, because Tiger Woods is going to make all of his money building golf courses. That's what he's already doing.
T-Woo.
He loves, you know, he's doing that thing. I think that's what he goes into eventually, but I think he'll still be, like, when it's the Masters, when it's time for the Masters. I mean, and maybe he will try to play. Maybe he'll do the Fred Couples thing. He'll just go out and play practice rounds and stuff because he can play for his life because he's a champion. Or maybe he'll just show up for the Champions Dinner every year and be there to just
be Tiger Woods.
Yeah. Run up DJ's bill. Did you see his tweet? Tiger tweeted out. He said, "Sorry, I can't be there to run up DJ's bill."
Nice.
So.
Yeah, that sucks. They released the details of his crash record. Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't intoxicated. Just one of those things he didn't really remember, or was going way too fast with the down a hill and shit.
Yeah.
Glad he didn't die. He was going at 84 to 87. They said via the black box.
Yeah.
Of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad he didn't die.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
Me too.
For sure. All right.
Don't wish that on anybody. But now that we moved past that, let's go back to the Masters.
Happy Masters. Leave the race's history behind.
What does the Masters mean to you, Kamish?
With the blinders up again, right? It's just Augusta, man.
Like, what comes to mind when it's Masters week? The first thing is, like, for me, like,
I mean, it's Tiger Woods is definitely, you automatically think of that.
I think of this is dumb, but literally the first thing that comes to mind is that deep, rich green.
Oh yeah.
Like when it's Masters week, or when I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the Masters soon. Like I just can't wait to see that deep, deep green of the golf course because it's
Perfect.
Different than any other place. It is. There are other golf courses that are beautiful in their own way, that are
it's hard to beat.
Majestic. They have better views. Like, you know, they overlook the ocean and like all these things. But as just a perfect tier thing of golf, Augusta National is it. I literally look forward all year to
I'm
that.
getting goosebumps kind of thinking about it.
To that first view of those perfect fairways, the deep, darker, richer green of the rough. The azaleas are blooming.
Amen corner.
The greens are perfect, and you know that they're treacherous. The bunkers are that perfect white.
and they're just perfectly manicured and perfectly raked. It's just something about it, man. Like, it's a wonderful event.
I can't wait. I'm very excited. The Masters is also usually like right around my birthday. It's usually the weekend before my birthday, so it like kind of kicks off my birthday week, which is always dope. But this year's Masters, we just had a Masters like 5 months ago, November. COVID problems. November of 2020, DJ wins the Masters, sets a new scoring record, 20 under par. Of course, November is not when the Masters is normally held, and the course was in an entirely different condition. They let the rough get a little bit longer, but the greens were softer. All reports out of Augusta National this week are that the greens are firm, fast. It has been dry down there. They have that sub-air vacuum system on all their greens, so basically when it rains, it really doesn't matter that much when the greens have gotten fully like grown out and developed. So
Big tough one this year.
I think it's going to be tough, especially I think it was Andy North said this today. Thursday could be the biggest single round of golf, like from how does it affect the tournament that they've had in a while, because right now they've got a little bit of rain in the forecast for Friday and Saturday.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, they've now kind of updated. It's kind of one of those things where they've got, forecasted some showers, thunderstorms, but it's going to just depend on, it's going to be those types of, or like, mid-spring thunderstorms that just kind of spin up out of nowhere and then they're gone in like 30 minutes. But so it's going to depend on how many of those come, obviously. They don't know how much rain they're expecting, but it's some. Thursday, there's no rain. It's going to be warm. The wind's going to blow a little bit.
It's going to be tough.
It has been no rain all week. So Thursday, and Augusta National likes to set up the course hard on Thursday. They like to get them welcome to Augusta, bitch.
This is what's going on at Augusta.
Yeah, shout out Chris Vernon. They like to set the pins in difficult locations on Thursday and really test people. And with the greens being as hard and as fast as they are reported to be, I think that could make for a really interesting first round. And if you can go out and shoot like a few under par, 69, 68,
good. Like par's going to be a great.
You're going to
score.
set yourself up to be in contention, which
you want to be.
It makes for fun. Like I prefer it. DJ winning at 20 under, it was impressive. All those things. Don't get me wrong. Cam Smith, Sung J M, all those guys were going lower than we've seen in a long time. But I like it when the Masters winner is like around that 10 under number, somewhere between like 9 under and 14 under, somewhere in there, where you get to see the teeth of the golf course, see why they can have see why they can have this golf tournament at the same golf course every year and it still be a tough test for people. Like, I like when it shows its teeth a little bit. I don't think they're going to want back-to-back Masters where the scoring record is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Because
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the scores have been low the last 2 years. And even though Augusta National isn't the USGA and they're not like going to like make the course impossible,
try to screw with
Augusta
you
National,
as much as
they don't
possible.
have to do that much to Augusta National to make it hard, and they've gotten the right conditions to basically be like, it's not our fault it didn't rain.
Yeah.
Like, it's just dry. It is what it is.
Suck, bros.
Bring your shit. Bring your A game.
Well, and that's one thing too that is really hard you can't really, from what I've read and seen pictures of, it's really hard. The camera, what I'm trying to say is that the broadcast doesn't exactly show you how intense the elevation drops are, which is what makes the fast greens so problematic.
Yeah, it's all about angles at Augusta when it's playing like that, because the greens aren't receptive and you have to play from the right angles to make the ball go bounce in, because you got to bounce it. You have to land it shorter than you want to. Play for the bounce. DJ talked about that in his press conference this week about how it's like it's always about hitting your spots. It's just now you got less leeway.
Yards.
Yeah, so
closer to you.
Exactly, and so I do think that's one of the storylines. I'm just going to go through some of the storylines for this week, and I think one of them is
veterans have an edge, at least on Thursday.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Phil has talked about this in the past. He likes to see the fire at Augusta. He wants it to be hard. He wants it to be fast because when it's soft, it's gettable. Because if you can stop the ball on the green, like the greens are so perfect, people will make putts. When it gets firm and fast and it becomes harder to hold the green, it really starts to test people a lot.
Yeah.
And it advantages the people who know how to set up angles and set up second shots and know where the misses are and
Puppies
all
again.
the same. Puppies, they're weighing in. They want to see the Masters firm and fast, just like Phil.
Yep, definitely.
But I do
They're
think
angry if it doesn't be that way.
I do think it advantages the veteran players.
Yes.
It's gonna be.
Sorry about that.
It's gonna be interesting to see if any of the new guard, like some of the new guard guys that have been playing really well lately, Morikawa,
NGG, new guard guys, NG squared.
Sure. Morikawa, Hovland, Wolf,
Tony Finau. Will he do something? Like, I don't know. He's got to win, man. He has to win sometime. It'd be epic if he did that. He'd be epic if he did that at Augusta. Like, that'd be nuts.
Yeah. I mean, why not? He's played Augusta well. He famously had the almost ankle turn, or like when he dislocated his ankle.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like he dislocated his ankle. Like, he ended up being fine, but everyone was like, oh my God, did he break his leg?
Yeah. Fuck.
Celebrating like a hole-in-one or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
We get another look at Bryson trying to overpower Augusta.
Did you see that video on Twitter of him next to Vijay Singh, and Vijay Singh just watched him just crank him?
Vijay Singh retweeted that and said, I was telling him he wasn't swinging hard enough.
God, he's like, I don't know. I mean,
I've heard it.
We'll see.
One thing that's interesting, I do think, about the whole Bryson thing, I was listening to Fairway Rollin', shout out. That was going to be my listening to anyway. Fairway Rollin' Pod, Joe House, Nathan Hubbard. They had Justin Ray from Golf Channel on this week. Good Golf Pod on the Ringer Podcast Network. They were talking about, I think it was Justin Ray or maybe one of the other storyline guys, about how the thing about Augusta is you can try to overpower it, but if you don't putt well, you will not do well. And one interesting thing about Bryson is Bryson relies maybe more than anybody on tour on the green books and the slope books and the things that you're given. They are, at each tour event, they're given a book that has the laser scan of the green and tells you exactly like the slope numbers and all this stuff. And Bryson uses math a lot in his putting.
No.
I know, it's crazy.
He likes to know the physics behind it. That's what he studied at Stanford.
He went to SMU.
SMU, sorry.
Anyway, he
went to some place.
I understand that. I'm trying to make a point here.
I get
he
it.
He likes those things. He likes to use. He uses the green books and he uses the numbers in those green books. You're not allowed green books at the Masters. Mm-hmm. They don't do it. Mm-hmm. He has not putted well at the Masters. Last year, he was like T2 or T1 in strokes gained off the tee, so he drove it fine. Mm-hmm. He just missed a lot of putts. And I think that's the Bryson thing, is like when he was and the rough isn't punishing. Mm-hmm. Because at the U.S. Open, the thing that saved Bryson was, even though he was hitting it in the rough, he was hitting it so far he could recover out of the rough because it was and the other players couldn't do it.
He made it less rough on him.
Yeah. At Augusta, the rough is not particularly punishing. It's not the worst thing in the world to hit the ball in the rough at Augusta. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that the advantage doesn't make it up. We'll see if it works.
Anything can happen.
If he wins at Augusta, then, bravo.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like, I will hope that Augusta proves that the only way he can win there is if he has to make putts.
Can put the putts in the cup.
Like, he's going to have to do more than just drive it further than everybody. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll see. We have different opinions on Bryson.
I don't dislike Bryson. I just hope that, like, I'm rooting for the purity of Augusta National and, like, the fact that Augusta National is a test of like all aspects of the game of golf, and you can't just. I'm not saying that what Bryson does is like cheat coding, because it's not. It's like he's adapted a skill in golf and become the best at it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the idea that the guy who hits it,
they still all
290 off the guy who hits it 290 off the tee, but can play from the middle of the fairway, can win in the same way that the guy who hits it 340 off the tee.
It doesn't matter how you get the strokes on the card, right?
I know, and that's what I like that idea. I'm not saying that Bryson winning would mean that that's not the case. I'm just saying, like, I hope that if he wins, it's because he putts well, and like he doesn't win when he's like, T50 in strokes gained putting. Like, that's what I don't want to see.
Yeah.
So, be interesting.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if he doesn't putt there well, it's going to be extremely difficult to putt there. So, unless he's found something, unless he 3D scanned.
I did hear that he
himself.
potentially has like a new prototype driver that he might be breaking out this week.
Just to hit it a mile.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I never know what that guy's doing.
Well, he'll come up one of those times like the ones that shoot the ball with the cartridge. Obviously not legal. Actually, that can't shoot it as far as he can hit it.
No.
It only goes like $250, I think. I've looked into it, but they're $1,200.
You could use that.
Yeah. I know. I'm all about cheating. I'm a hack, man.
Like Patrick Reed.
Yeah. I actually have been playing well. Like last Sunday, I'm still kept.
I'm glad you had fun playing golf last Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad I was supposed to play golf with you.
Mm-hmm. That's
I wasn't consulted about the tee time prior to it being booked.
Yes, I didn't book it though. We already talked. Nobody cares.
Just say. Anyway, making his return to the golf course this week, kind of surprisingly.
Jordan won last week. I forgot to say that.
That wasn't where I was going.
I don't care.
He's on the list. We're going to get to him. Brooks Kepca.
Oh, yeah, right. Jordan won last week, though. Bolero.
Brooks Kepca, who has been a much better golfer over the last 5 years than Jordan Spieth.
This is true.
Makes his surprising return to
nice burn.
Augusta National. He has been out. It has been kind of up in the air whether or not he would play. He didn't play the match play. He has, been dealing with some knee pain and inflammation or whatever. I don't know exactly what is going on, but he hasn't been able to play golf. He just showed up on the range. He didn't tell anybody that he was going to be playing. It was just Monday morning. People were like, "Oh,
holy shit,
Brooks Kepka's here."
What up, Brooks?
Sweet.
How's it going, bro?
So he makes a surprising return. I mean, that dude, you can't count him out in majors.
He's handicapped right now, and not.
He is handicapped, and I don't think he would be a play if you're a betting man. But at the same time, if it comes to be Sunday and Brooks Koepka's in the mix, you're gonna be surprised.
No,
because that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He has to read putts right now, with one leg stuck out, like he's squatting like a sumo wrestler, kind of. When sumos go down and go one side or the other, that's how he has to read his putts, because he's got to stick in. He doesn't want to bend it, put all that bend in his knee, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool that he's there. I'm glad he's there. I'd rather have a Masters with Brooks than without one. So let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Now,
Jordan Spieth, he won.
He did win. Congratulations. I'm glad.
So cool.
I'm really happy to see Jordan Spieth win a golf tournament again.
I'm just fucking with you because I know it.
I don't dislike Spieth. I want to make the record very clean. I do not dislike Jordan Spieth. I do not like Jordan Spieth as much as some other guys and some people who basically thought he was going to be the next Tiger Woods.
Yes. I never thought that.
I mean, I think there was a group of people who was like, we finally found the person who's going to take the mantle from Tiger and maybe not be as dominant as him, but be the guy in golf. And I think he became that for a year.
He was on it.
Or two. And then it kind of all fell apart.
Yeah.
At Augusta on the 12th hole.
Ugh. Yeah.
And
it's going to be interesting because how many Masters has he played since then?
At least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So he's faced the 12th hole before again, but he hasn't done it when he's in contention.
Right.
So Jordan's finally found it. I mean, I think we've all seen it's all been coming. He shot 61 on Saturday at the Waste Management, and it was like Jordan Spieth, kind of back.
Yeah.
He's been top 10 over in top 5 multiple times this year. He's been on the cusp and is able to put it all together at the Valero Texas Open. I will say
18 under, right? Yeah.
18 or 19, whatever. I will say, not the best field in golf at the Valero Texas Open,
No.
but all that matters is him winning a PGA tournament again. He also did not drive the ball well still.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's one place where you don't have to drive the ball that well, we've already talked about this, is Augusta National. That guy loves Augusta National. He said it in his press conference this week. Driving down Magnolia Lane, it's like, for him, it's just comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's go time. It's time for the Masters. It doesn't matter how his form is. It like kind of changes his mindset. So I think you gotta like just Jordan Spieth. It's just hard for me to imagine that he's gonna win back-to-back tournaments.
Yeah, people are all on Jordan Spieth.
He's
They're
literally
like,
become
he's
one.
in. Like,
He,
he's
I
gonna
think he's
win.
become I saw this. I don't remember which book I was looking at, but he has the most handle of the money in Vegas at the moment.
Yeah.
More people have bet on Jordan Spieth than anybody else in the tournament.
I
And
just think that's a bad bet. It's hard to, like you said, it's hard to win back-to-back.
a guy, okay, to tie all this back, I think that there will be a little bit of what happened to Gonzaga on Monday night, which is you win a game like Gonzaga won on Saturday
With the shot.
with the emotion and it's an overtime. It's one of the best games that's been played in a long time. The emotion of winning. You have you've saved your undefeated season, all this stuff. And then you show up on Monday, and you've got to play again, and it kind of feels like you've already won, like you've celebrated something like you won the national championship,
Yeah.
and you didn't. And I'm not. It's not an apples to apples comparison because golf it's even more maybe momentum. But there was such relief for Jordan Spieth to finally win a golf tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
As
yeah.
a guy who has won like 4 majors, and he's won 11 times on tour prior to that, and had that 3-year stretch where he was good for 3 wins a year plus a major.
Yeah.
And now it's been 3 years since his last win, and he was largely like,
Man, he was missing cuts. He
was not playing well.
No.
And he was in a bad spot mentally. He was changing his swing, all these things. The relief for him to finally win a golf tournament again, because he's been on the edge. I mean, and so he's just got to be thinking, like, when is it finally going to happen? Finally does. And
Another puppy pal.
say hi to Kimmy. It finally does, and I just wonder if he can immediately if he's going to be exhausted. That's all I'm
Yeah, right?
So,
Kimmy, what do you
Spieth, it'll be interesting to see if Spieth can keep it going. And again, I can't count him out in that golf tournament, though, because
Absolutely
he
not.
loves that golf course.
Kimmy, go see Nathan.
So,
Thank you for stopping by, though. Kimmy, go.
another big storyline heading into Augusta was Jon Rahm.
Jon Rahm, he's a new dad.
He is a new dad, got new dad strength. There was, he had famously said he didn't care what position he was in. If it was Sunday at the Masters and he was leading, if his wife went into labor, he was leaving.
Absolutely.
He told people not to bet on him, unless the baby had been had come already. Had been had, yeah.
Had been had.
Well, Jon Rahm is the proud dad. Sunday,
John's ready to hit bombs.
baby Kepca, that's the name, Kepa.
All right.
Kepca Rahm.
Kepca Rahm.
Shout out Kepca. Maybe it's time for, Danny Willett, when he won the Masters, he became a dad the week before.
All right.
Little maybe it's a thing.
Playing with
Little dad strength.
Yeah. Oh no.
But I think Rahm's played incredible. He has an incredible record at the Masters already.
I like his swing.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's not to like? But I think he's a big guy to watch out for this week. I think he's got a chance to really light it up. Finally,
Rory.
the guy who is,
I'd almost see Rory as like a long shot pick.
he is honestly at the moment the way he's playing.
Yeah, I just don't see. And
I think you can get Rory right now at 16-1 to win the Masters.
when was his last win?
His last win and all
Yeah.
would have been last season.
All right.
I mean, he played really well at the end of last season, and then he won the Players in 2019.
That wasn't his last win, though.
No, he's had wins since. I'm just saying, he won in 2020. I just don't know. I don't remember when, but he has not been in good form lately.
Everybody was a mess in 2020.
Man, that commercial cracked.
Oh, every time, man.
He missed the cut at the Players.
This year, yeah.
He got bounced. He didn't make it out of the group play in the match play event.
He played bad.
Like, he has not had it going. He admitted that he thought some of it might have been him trying to chase speed to keep up with Bryson and the distance and stuff. But again, I just think, even though he's in bad form, like,
It's a major.
he's had success at Augusta before. He's never won, but he had the lead on Sunday. Like, it's not like he's never played good there. He's always had that one round that, like, knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's still an incredibly talented golfer and knows how to play the course.
Are you
So,
going to say golf player?
no.
I swear
The
to
golfer.
God, that was what you're going to say. You caught yourself. I was like, oh, dude, that would be... Anyway, I find that hilarious. I'm going to start calling them golf players.
Golf players? Well, he's still going for the career Grand Slam,
Yeah.
so it would be cool to see him win. I mean, if Rory's in contention on Sunday, I'll be happy about it.
Hell yeah.
What is your dream? I heard this question posed, and I didn't prepare you for this. I didn't put it in the outline. But what is your dream Sunday final pairing currently?
Jordan Spieth
And
and Justin Thomas.
God,
Or
that's
DJ.
mine too.
Or DJ would be cool. DJ Justin
Spieth
Thomas.
and Thomas is my favorite. Is mine as well. So I wish I would have just said mine before I let you take it.
Suck it.
I mean, just because of the whole Walker Cup history, like they've been friends forever. Jordan was kind of the guy, and then Justin Thomas has just been consistently better lately,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd just be interesting to see those two guys going on Sunday. I'd love to see. I'd love to see
He's
Bryson.
one of the favorites, right?
Yeah, Justin Thomas is probably the favorite besides Dustin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Johnson. I'd love to see Dustin Johnson, Bryson.
That would be interesting.
Tony
Tony Finau, Bryson.
I'd love to see Bryson, John Rahm, because those guys are both like
Tony
Rahm.
Finau.
Rahm
DJ.
can get a little hot-headed, and Bryson is. People generally don't like playing with Bryson.
Right? Because he takes for fucking ever.
Yeah, it's slow.
Hi, Kim.
Nobody likes to play with.
Thanks for
super
stopping
slow.
by again. What are you doing? Go away. All right,
But
she's
anyway,
hanging out.
Those would be my. Those would be mine. I'm just happy that we're here. It's Masters Week. I do have to mention the quote that Rory. Do you see Rory's quote about Tiger?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So in his press conference, he was talking about how he got a chance to go visit Tiger recently, like before he came to Augusta. And the question that was posed to Rory was like, how do you approach a major? Is it like any other week? Do you try to treat it like any other week, or are you one of those people who like puts extra emphasis on it, whatever? And Rory had talked about how he kind of waffled between both approaches throughout his career, and he finally landed on approaching them like as putting extra emphasis on them, like looking ahead to them on the calendar and kind of preparing yourself to be in peak form and blah blah blah. And he said the one thing that kind of put that kind of really like validated that for him was he went over to see Tiger recently, and whatever room they were in was like Tiger's trophy room.
I did see this.
And he only has, and it's like he's looking at his trophy case with his 15 major championship trophies. And Rory asked him, where are all the other trophies from all the other events you've won? And Tiger just said, I don't know. They're scattered. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to
Yeah.
them. And it's like, okay, if that's Tiger's thought, then
Yeah. Oh yeah.
good enough for anybody else, right?
Definitely.
I mean, Kepka said that for years. He said he basically doesn't practice. Like, he does practice, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't, like, take a regular PGA Tour event, like, that seriously. He shows up, he plays the golf course maybe one time before he goes out on Thursday, and he plays.
And if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, makes the cut, makes the money, wasted the majors, right?
But when he goes to the majors, he puts the work in. Like, he really preps. He really works on his game. He really, tries to scout the golf course and learn it and all these things, like, because that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's dope as hell.
Yeah. Hey, do what you want to do.
All right. To wrap up this week's edition of the Clubhouse Masters Week, we got to make picks for the Masters. So give me your pick. Just like you can have anybody you want. This is your pick, and then give me a long shot.
Jordan Spieth. I just want him to win.
Dude, it's not what you want to happen, what you think will happen.
I'll go with Justin Thomas.
If you want to pick Spieth, pick Spieth. I'm saying it's not about what you want to happen.
But it is what I want to happen. I'll just stick with Jordan Spieth. I'll do it. And then long shots.
Yeah.
I kind of was like Lee Westwood and Tony Finau. Lee Westwood's been playing well, but he's also older. And then Tony Finau just can't ever win, but he's really good and like playing well. So those are what I'm taking as my long shots.
Okay. I would go Justin Thomas if I could just pick anybody from the field. I think this golf course, the way it's set up, if it's going to be fast and it's going to require you to hit, it's going to be an iron. It's going to be all about stroked gains and approach, and it's all about the best iron players in the world.
And putting.
But putting yourselves in those positions to have putts. And so I think Justin Thomas is that guy. He just won the Players. I think it's time for him to win a Masters. I hope he wins.
There's a lot of people saying that's going to be like some predictor who's predicted. Did you see that? It was on golf.com or something. It's predicted the last 4 of 6 majors, Masters or whatever, and he's like, it's JT or Jordan is what this guy's predicting.
If I was going to pick a long shot, I've got a couple I'm going to throw out.
How long are the shots?
Pretty long.
Yeah.
Some
amateur.
Some longer than others. Paul Casey, not super long, but he's never won a major.
Plays well at Augusta.
He does play well at Augusta. Number 2, I'm going with Bernd Wiesberger. Played well at Augusta. He's made 4 cuts there. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. If Bernd Wiesberger wins the Masters, you better believe we're posting the shit out of this.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Bring it. Let's see him there on Sunday.
Also, don't count out Bubba.
Yeah.
Dude loves the Masters. He played pretty decent at the match play.
Experience won the Masters, obviously.
Twice.
Yeah.
Dude loves the Masters.
Right.
All right. Can't wait for Augusta.
Starts tomorrow.
So pumped.
For us. Oh, yes.
Starts for tomorrow. For those of you listening to this pod, it starts today.
Right.
It always confuses me. Our today is your tomorrow. Our tomorrow is your today. So.
Correct.
Anyway.
But we're still in today. This is
we're
the
still
day
in today.
Today's a Wednesday. Tomorrow's a Thursday.
But tomorrow we get Augusta.
But yours Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow we get Augusta. We get azaleas. We get pimentos. We get Magnolia Lane. We get all the things. And we get a Chris Vernon Masters update. Can't wait for that.
God, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
With that, let's move into this this week's version of the Weekly ING.
Wrapping it up. What do you got?
I am watching Top Chef. One of my I've shouted this out before on the show. We actually are having our Top Chef drafts tomorrow night. Prior to the episode, we draft a team, and what else can we gamble on? Top Chef. Let's do it.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Freaking love that show. So shout out Top Chef. That's what I'm watching.
Right. I am watching. I've been actually watching quite a bit of innings of baseball. Not full games, but I'll catch innings or 2 or 3 just of random games. I think the MLB has had a free trial for their version of Red Zone. I don't know, home plate, infield, outfield, bullpen. I don't know. One of those names, we'll say. So it bounces back between multiple games. So I've been watching a lot of that. And then I started today an Agatha Christie audiobook called The Mystery of the Blue Train.
Cool.
Yeah.
What brought that about?
I searched YouTube for audiobooks.
Oh, cool. I am listening to, I already shouted this out, but Fairway Rollin'. Another golf pod.
So you'd say they're rolling, but you're not hating.
No. Highs and lows. My high is Masters Week, so we've already talked about that.
Absolutely. That's default. That's just the default high of this entire episode. And then my high is that, obviously. Just repeating that again, apparently. And then I played really well last Sunday with Golf Swing starting to do some stuff. Yeah.
I'm happy for you. Yeah. My low is that I haven't played golf in a few weeks.
Yep. That sucks. My low is I came home from work yesterday and I was looking at my grass and I was like, God, It's mowing
you,
season.
you and I differ on this. I don't mind the mowing. It feels like it's kind of like a sense of responsibility for my yard, and I don't mind the mowing. I just like throw in a podcast and just like go to town. It's not that bad.
See, I don't even think it's the actual mowing because I can mow my yard in like 40 minutes. I think it's just the anticipation of knowing I have to mow that gets to me.
Yeah, especially right now, I don't mind it because it's not that hot.
Yeah,
You know,
springtime.
It's really not that bad.
But I also did work at a golf course one summer. So I was
So you
low
mowed a
man.
lot of
Yes,
grass.
and then I was low man on the totem pole, so I had to use this thing called a fly mower, which is pretty fucking cool. It's like it's a hovercraft mower, but that's for the embankments around the bunkers. That was a lot of fucking work.
Sounds like you have a little PTSD from
Right.
working at a golf course.
Free golf though.
Can't complain there. This week we're gonna bring back an old favorite segment, Parting Hits, and I brought this up because I thought we had to touch on this tweet, and I'm gonna make sure I give credit here. The tweet was Twitter user Matt and the is at SPONHOURM, whatever that is,
Spawnhorn.
something like that.
Spawnhorn.
So the question is, who wins in a one-on-one basketball game?
I think this is
You
hilarious.
with LeBron's build and athleticism, but your own basketball skills. So basically, you have LeBron's body and his athleticism, but you can still play basketball on the same skill level as you previously could. Or
Not good.
LeBron with his own basketball skills, but he has your body and your athleticism. See, I think for me,
You actually played basketball in high school. I
Yeah, but-
stopped playing basketball at. Would you remember, Nathan? Probably 4th or 5th grade.
see, here's the thing: is I
I'm
think
not good at basketball.
I think with my body, like I'm like 6'4", shout out.
I am not that tall.
So I
More
think
like
you
shout
give.
up, if you will.
I think if
I'm
you give.
5'10".
I think if you give LeBron my body and my athleticism, I'm not like the best athlete, but I'm not unathletic,
Right.
and I know how to play basketball. Like I think LeBron kicks my ass, even if I have LeBron's body and athleticism, because like. I think LeBron beats me 10 times out of 10 because the thing that you forget is how good of freaking shooters and dribblers and all the things that they can just do, like it's nothing.
Yeah, if I was
Especially when they're not in
LeBron,
like a game situation, they just make shots
around
from
me,
everywhere.
Like I couldn't. He would beat me either way.
Here's the thing. I actually think you're the perfect test case for this because, again, you're not 6'4".
No, 5'10".
You're
Not big.
frail.
Yes, I look frail. That is for damn sure.
And here's the thing. Even if you give your body LeBron's basketball skills, here's the thing. You in LeBron's body could pretty much always, every time, back you down. And you have his athleticism, so you just turn around and dunk once you back it down. So I do think that you in LeBron's body would have a chance against LeBron in your body.
Yeah. Yeah, but he could get around me and make shots from everywhere.
You're so much more athletic than he is at that point, though.
Yes. Yes, and
Like you're so much bigger, and like even if he gets by you, like you're gonna be able to block shots.
yeah, I guess my 3 steps is probably his like 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but I mean, I still would take LeBron. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Like, I think you have the best
100%.
chance. I think you in LeBron's body, even though you don't have a ton of basketball experience, just
4th grade, baby.
the differences in the body.
It's
just the
Salvation.
real-
We didn't even have team names. We were Team Blue because it's Salvation Army League.
Man,
I excelled more at soccer and climbing, obviously, cross country. Running sports are my forte.
sports where being light is helpful.
Exactly. I tried out for center, but they just didn't even take a look at me.
Well, maybe we just need to put a little weight on you. Let's go to Waffle House, get some waffles,
Damn right.
and
Learn how to shoot a jump shot.
there you go. Happy Masters Week, everybody.